Good afternoon, good Friday to everybody. I am here in the background, just setting things up. This is a little, you're going to see me a little different here in a second. So I've got a gray screen behind me, no green screen here today behind me, but we'll be using chroma keying in a little bit. If I go small, this is typically what's chroma keyed out. I've got cameras and stuff kind of set up in the way and showing some other stuff today, so I thought, let's just show this. You can kind of see what it looks like. So my name is Todd Rains. I, along with my wife, own Woodturning Tool Store, and I come to you on these live streams at Facebook and YouTube, and people are on the StreamYard online or on air. I guess event site as well. So. Every Friday, not every Friday, every second Friday, every other Friday at this time, 2:30. And the 2:30 time is something that I've talked about before, but 2:30 Todd. So we are here today in my shop in Allen, Texas, and we're going to talk a little bit about, as it says above there, kind of behind me here, some tools, technique, and some turning. So, I'm just going to pop in there again. So, sorry about that. So, and up in the corner there, you can see a couple of tools we're going to look at. Measuring tools. These are eye gauging tools. So we'll look at those first, and then we'll do a bit of switch over and do a little hollowing with the camera. So, we've seen this done before. Cindy's done it before, and a few others using a camera. And I'm doing it with my ATEM, so I've kind of set it up, and I'm going to go through a little bit of that. I'll probably save the tech stuff to kind of the end, and people can wander away if that kind of just is not their thing. But if those that are kind of interested in some of that kind of stuff, stick around. But the first little while, we'll talk about these and do some camera hollowing, and then we'll talk about how we did that. So let me go through. We've got lots of comments here. Lots of people joining in. So I am just kind of scrolling back up through. So we've got Dennis Wiener from New York. Hey, Dennis, good to have you here. Paul from the UK. Thanks for joining again, Paul. Appreciate it. It's nice to have you here. And John from upstate New York. I need to make this bigger or something. I don't know. Get some cheaters on. Steve from Arizona. Good to have you here. And let's see. Trevor is Northern Ontario, -25. So yeah. In case you know, I'm not thinking about moving back to Canada anytime soon. So we're probably in the 40s here today, Fahrenheit. So nice and warm, I guess, comparatively. And Al from Pennsylvania. Good to have you here. Hi, Tran here. A bit confused with the time zones, but I think I'm here nearly correct time. Yes, you are. Albuquerque is in Mountain Time at this time of year, I guess. 2:30 Central, 1:30 Mountain. So Jim's got a big comment. What's this say? Which video of yours would you recommend most highly? No need for an immediate answer, but if you could cover that during the today's sessions, I appreciate it. Thank you. So, good, Jim. Good question, Jim. There's lots of videos. Let me get that off my face, and maybe I'll just on my YouTube channel, you can go there. Also on my website, under the Explore Woodturning, there's most of the project videos and tips and trick videos are linked, are embedded on my website from YouTube. But especially there in the under Explore Woodturning, under the live streaming menu item, all these live streams, all the past live streams are there, and there are some actually pretty good ones, some good tips and tricks along the way. So um, one of the good ones was creating one of these. I don't have it in here, I don't think. A threaded end to your tailstock live center. Did the Proform Flexi a couple of weeks ago using that tool, and that was pretty cool. Seeing I cut the sides off the hollowform so you could see the tool in action inside the vessel. So, and then there's a number of projects in those live streams from bottle stoppers. I did a series with Cindy. Those are up there. Easter egg bunny, Easter eggs, all that kind of stuff. Go back and take a look. There's lots of videos, a lot of content. Most of what I've done over the last few years is these live streams, last couple of years. So a lot of post-production videos. I haven't done a lot of those lately, so most of them have been live. So beyond that, yeah, club demos. Talk to your club, Jim, and have them come by and have me do a club demo. I did one last night for the Montgomery County Woodturners. So a nice oval box and a sphere lid. So hopefully that helps. John, Western Mass, good to see you. And Tom, Yuma, Arizona. My in-laws are out there right now, so we'll hope to see them in a week or two. So, Lowell, good to have you here. Thank you for joining again. Good to have you here. And Nadine from Central MN, is that NM? I don't know what. Oh, Minnesota. Sorry, it's hard to figure out. There's a lot of M states. So let's see. David Perez from Oregon. Hi, good to have you here. And let's see. Oh, Mary Alice is in the house. Good to see you again. Hopefully, little puppy's doing well. Toy hoarder as he may be. God, there's a lot of people here. Sorry, Dave, Pauletta, thank you for joining. Michael, good to have you here. Gerald, thank you for joining. Green Bay, 28 degrees, nice and cold. Jorge from Coopertown. Oh my gosh, the list goes on. I can't keep up. Les, good to have you here. Heli Aviator, sorry. Good to have you here. Mike, good to see you again. Good to have you here. Let's see, got buffering on the direct live stream, but okay on YouTube. Okay, good to know. I know that so you're up. Yeah, the StreamYard may have some still some growing pains going on it. So that's all right. Hey, good to have you here. And Ken, please give me a call about your tool post. Okay, about my, okay, yeah, I sent you one up there a little bit ago. We'll talk later. Michael McEwen is here. Happy Friday, Michael. There's lots of people here. So moving down, Tom G. From Duluth, Georgia, not the Minnesota one. And I'm just going to carry on this. Just it's carrying on a little bit more. John Fisher's here. Good to have you here. The jokester, always good. Good to have you here. And Kim Coles and Martin from Missouri. Thank you. All right. So, that was a lot of people. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate it. So, yeah, this is going to YouTube and Facebook, but also to the StreamYard On Air application. So I sent that out in my email this morning, actually. So let's move on over to what we're going to be looking at. Why did that not? Oh, I guess because I'm on there. And look at the overhead. So I've got a couple new tools we're going to look at. These are a couple of things from iGaging, which is a sort of digital measurement company, makes all kinds of unique little measuring tools. They're mostly known for their DROs and stuff for digital readout for planers and table saws and those kind of things and stuff like that. Stuff that we don't typically need in wood turning, but it's a few things in my catalog that are useful. Calipers and those kind of things, measuring tools, rulers, and center finder is a good one. But today, these are a couple of things I brought in to the store and haven't really talked about a lot about. So they've been in the store for a few months now and want to talk about them. So on the deck here, we have two items. This robot, which today we are going to give one away. So let me move over here for a second and put that in there. And I did forget to go through my, let me go through my my slides. Again, I neglected to do that. So there's how to get a hold of me if you need to. Let's see if this doesn't get in the way. Not too bad. So yeah, reach me there if you need anything. Email, phone number, website, all there. Cindy does her wood turning tool talk live every other week, opposite of mine. So yeah, check her out. Go to her Facebook, YouTube channel, and see when she is on. So check her, and that's right over my face. I'm just going to get rid of that. So every 2 weeks, Thursday is opposite of mine, so she streams as well, and it's always looking forward to seeing what she's doing. So the next item is Woodturners Woodturners Worldwide Online Symposium. So there is a symposium. It's an online symposium. This is the third year it's happened. This year, it's at the end of the month here, 2 weeks away, February 24th to the 26th. And we at Wood Turning Tool Store are going to be there demonstrating. I'll be demonstrating Friday night, doing a bit of talk on the two different kind of hook tools I sell, the Hoslow hook tool as well as the ProForm tools. And so we'll be looking at those and turning a little something with those. So take a look at that. Buy a ticket to the event and get $10 off, and also receive a $10 gift card to Wood Turning Tool Store. So that's essentially $20 in savings if you look at it that way. So love for you to do that. Go over to Woodturners Worldwide Online Symposium. And do I have a? I don't have a. Oh, I didn't. I was going to do a little QR code for that one, but I don't have that. So in front of the preceding the Worldwide Online Symposium, the vendor showcase crew, and I just need to get my face on here a little bit because that's just the way it goes. On the February 23rd, the Thursday, we're going to be doing a live interactive Zoom meeting. We've done this before, and Matt Dayton has been kind of him to let us do this again. On the 23rd, so Thursday, from 12 to 4 noon, there's going to be 6 of us: myself, Cindy Drozda, Joe Fleming, John Jordan, and Lyle Jameson, and Steve Worcester. And so the 6 of us kind of get together and we do these vendor showcases. Check that out. Here is the registration link. Sorry, I should have, not that one. That's the bug. There. So I should have had that up at the beginning. You can snap that with your phone camera and get straight to a registration link. Get a Zoom link, and you'll receive a link to the Zoom meeting after you register and stuff. You know how all that works nowadays. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And so let me go back here. And what was next on? Just a picture of the robot. So let me take that off and take that off. So there's the robot we're going to look at. It's a little rolling measuring tape, basically. It does linear measurements, area measurements, cylindrical area, diameter, board feet, and cube meter measurements. So, and this is the second thing we're going to look at, the bandsaw companion. We'll see how it works on my bandsaw. That's why I got the green screen not on and stuff, because I've got machinery set up in front of it and stuff. So here we go. Lyle Jameson, that's what we're going to do after this. Take a look at this hollowing system and use a camera instead of that laser. So let me go here. So let's take a look at these. So this is what we're giving away today, one of these guys. Let's take a look at what it does. And I'll zoom in a little bit here. Wrong way, Todd. And we'll take a closer look at it. So let me get that guy out of the way for a second. So it's a little rolling device. It's got a little blue band that rotates on it on the back side. It's got 3 buttons on the front. The back is a battery compartment, and it's got a little scribe here in case you wanted to scribe something as you're measuring it. So has some decent instructions with it. Kind of tells you all about it. So as I said, it does linear measurement, area measurement, cubic feet or inches or board feet measurement, and cylindrical round area and diameter measurement. So we'll go through and look at a few of those, how that works. So if I push this button, this turns it on, and it's set up. There's a line, and we can go a little bit closer. And I get my camera set up here. 1 second. Not that one. Okay, so sorry, I'm working my left hand magic here, trying to focus this camera. There we go. Sorry about that. So you see that little line there? That means it's linear measurement. We can go through the modes. Second mode. So this is up in the corner there. It's a box, and that means it's area measurement. So L1, length 1, and you hit it a second time, you get length 2. We go to the next one, and this makes it cubed. So now we're doing board feet measurement or cubic measurement. And then third that's board feet. There we go. And then last one, we're doing area of a cylinder and diameter of a cylinder. So let's take a look at it cycles back to the linear measurement. So to use it, there's a little depression back here for your finger, and a little button on here to start the measurement. So if I just hold this still, push the button, rotate this, we start measuring. And I'm just moving this wheel here. So that typically would look like, and I'll hit it again, like it'll zero it out. If I go wide, I'll bring this guy back up just as a reference. This is 12.5 inches. So I'll put it right at the end. The little arrow here at the very bottom kind of tells you where you want to start. Push the measurement, roll it along to the end. We got 12.76 inches. And we can press and hold this and get fractional inches, 12 3/4. It's the closest fractional measurement. And hold it again, and we'll get meters, 0.324 of a meter, so 32 centimeters. And back again, 2 inches. So you can do inches, fractional inches, and metric. So that's linear, very simple. We just click it to get to the box mode. So let's see how big this package is. So we can do from the edge here. So I'm lining up this arrow with the edge of the carton as measurement 1, and pretend this is a board. And then that's got 14.22. Trust me when you read that. And I'll take it on the width of this thing. And area 2 or length 2 is 3.54. And so this up here, 50.388 is the area of this guy in square inches. So that's how that works. If we push this again, we get a cube. So now we can do board feet. Well, let's go right to board feet. One more click, we get the board feet. So pretend this is a 3-dimensional board. I don't have one right handy, believe it or not. Well, I do actually. Let me grab that one. Got a little block of really nice curly I don't know if it's Koa. No, it's walnut, Claro walnut. You want to know how much that's going to be to sell. Let's measure the board feet. There's one measurement. So that's L1, L2, and L3. So this little guy is 0.3709 board feet. So you can now kind of measure that or sell that for whatever it is. Measure your stuff. So that's kind of handy. If you're in that mode where you need to measure board feet, it would have been handy when I was loading lumber. Let's see. Next mode is cylindrical. So push one more. We got the little dots up there for area and diameter. So I got this big block of wood that I've kind of half rounded around, trying to figure out the diameter of this guy. I don't have calipers big enough for that. I'm looking over and measuring across a rounded edge is kind of difficult. So I've put a witness line right there. There's a pencil line right there. So I'm just going to roll it off to, I'm going to widen it a little bit more, off to one side. I'll put my little line on that guy and roll this guy till I get back to that line. And there we go. We have its diameter, and I'm losing focus again. So there we go. So our diameter is 6.5 inches, and our area is 33.16 square inches. I don't know why I'd need that, but maybe a guy doing veneer work on something like this would certainly need that, and so that'd be handy. So is 6.5 inches correct? So let's take a quick look and just sort of get a best guess from a ruler and see that indeed 6.5 inches is about bang on. So there you go. Just a neat little device. I can see this also being used for marquetry or stringing. If you're doing any sort of fancy inlay of very thin pieces of wood, you're trying to figure out how much of that material you need to cut. This is great for doing paths. So get rid of this block of wood. And or if you're even doing concrete work where you got a winding path and stuff like that, or something like that, because this thing, when we go back to linear mode and you've got a windy path, and I'm off the screen. So pretend we've got a windy path winding around our marquetry design. You now know that you need 30 inches or 30.4 inches of material to make that work. So that's kind of that. So there is another button over here that turns power off and on and off, but you can also do like inside a shelf unit. They've got these marks here, and I'll just one shot that again. 1 second. These marks here will allow you to, if this was a shelf unit, I'd bump up against the shelf without getting this into the corner. So that you turn on your corners. Oops, I just turned it off. So if we look closely, if I hold this button down, we get a little corner with a circle in it. And that means I'm going to measure into one corner and off one edge. So I had a wall here. It adds 1.18 inches because I'm going to measure this little curved distance here. So if I'm against the wall, then this arrow tells me I'm against that shelf. And I can start there and roll off the edge and say it's 13.46 inches from my hand over to the edge of the shelf. Anyway, so that's what that button's for. And then you hold it again, and another little L bracket goes in that little symbol up there. that means you're rolling from shelf to shelf, or side of the bookshelf to this other side of the bookshelf. Instructions explain all that very well. So that is the robot, and this is what we're going to raffle off here today, probably in about half an hour. So maybe sooner. We'll see. So stick around. We are now. Let me go back to comments. We got lots of comments. Let's see. Did I miss any questions? Let's see. Robot. People are putting robot in. That's good. Sorry, I'm just trying to focus on this myself. I think I need to make this thing as big as I can because I am not seeing things very well. There we go. That might help. Let's see. Is it just my computer or is everything out of focus? Sorry about that. Yeah. I tried to fix the blurriness. Let's see. I believe it's your computer. All right. Good stuff. Way cool little gadget. Yeah, thanks, Pete. I appreciate it. It's kind of cool. It's been a while. Let's see. Yeah, more focus issues from hi. Thank you. Yeah. Sometimes they do get the best of me, my cameras. Let's see. Good question, Martin. Is it difficult to accurately position to start and stop measuring? It looks like that may be fussy. It is a little bit in a way. You've got to basically line up this point with where you want to start. So if I was to, as I said, try and line up to this edge, then I kind of got to get that kind of lined up, just about right. So it's not going to be super accurate, in terms of, because of your positioning. You're going to be off maybe a 16th, but for measuring board feet, for getting rough measurements of material needs and all that kind of stuff, I think it's kind of handy. So Dennis, yeah, I think you're right. Circumference equals pi divided by d. Is that right? Has it in here, believe it or not. Diameter equals circumference divided by pi, so you reverse that, you're right. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. You know your math. All right. Cindy's here. Thank you for joining, Cindy. Good to have you here. And Mike, okay, there's some chatter going on. Robots. Dr. Bob, thank you for joining. Appreciate you joining in. All right. There we go. I think I'm caught up on the questions. So any other questions about this, let me know. But we'll move on. I'll turn that off. I'll put that aside. And remember, this guy is coming in. It is a $25 value. So let's look at the bandsaw companion. So this is a that's a little close. Let me get back out there. I'll turn this off for a second, and we will just shoot that a little bit, get that in focus a bit better. Upside down, all the reading. So it's basically an aluminum ruler that's fairly thick, and it's got this stop, and it's got all these holes in it, and it does basically three things relatively well. So we'll pull it out of the package here, and we'll take a look at the package as well, because we're going to read some of that. So this is it. It's there. It does 3-in-1 blade alignment. You can draw a circle, and it's a hook rule. Whoops, I'm off the screen. Hook rule. So you've got this little hook. We'll look at that first. Look at the first two things first. And so if you wanted an 8-inch line from the edge of this shelf, if you will, let's go off the side here. So you bump it up to the 8-inch line, tighten that, just like any other hook ruler. And now you've got a nice scribe point along the end here to measure 8 inches. So simple as that. we can pull this off for the next two functions. The next one is a circle. So draw a circle. This actually says on it, with center hole spaced every ½ inch, draw a circle for cutting bowl blanks. So they actually thought about bowl blanks. Let me zoom into that. So yeah, they're talking about making bowl blanks, even though in their picture they're not. Maybe they are cutting wood. I'm not sure, but looks like a piece of plywood. So anyway, it's kind of nice to be able to have something thought about wood turners in these kind of things. So we've got this little pin that's kind of gets stored on the end here. We've got. It took me a while to figure out this scale issue. I'm going to flip it on this side because this is really the side we use. So this side is ruler side 1 through 12, and then it's got end marks here as well for finer things. So it's about 12.5 inches long. The other side is for drawing circles, and we've got an A scale and a B scale. Because we got these magnets in the way, the 5.5 and 6 inch mark kind of gets lost. So if you want A scale, then that pin will go through, and now you can use that as the pivot point and swing this pencil in any sort of one of those lines and go. Yes, honey. Yeah. Okay. So let me, I'm just going to check myself. Bear with me. Shelley says the stream. Oh, this is, refresh that. Sorry. Yeah, so folks, I'm just checking the StreamYard live stream. It doesn't seem to be working. Page unresponsive. So exit page. Let's go back and see if we can't get it working from here. You're live, edit, share. I'll copy that, I suppose. I don't know why they just don't let me. So bear with me with the technical stuff. We're just Command V, enter. Okay. It is not working. I'm waving my hand, but it's, oh, there it goes. Oh, it's really quite laggy. There it is. Volume's working. So looks like it's working. If you're share any problems you're having with the StreamYard on air event, and I'll be sure to put a ticket into the StreamYard folks. I've done that a couple of times already, and be happy to do that again. So anyway, so the A scale on top gets you every ½ inch up to 5, and then to 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8. If you need the 5.5 and 6 inch, then move into the B down here, the bottom one, and use this 5.5 and 6 inch here, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, etc. down there. So I don't know if you can see that. That's kind of glaring. So that's what these numbers down here are for. It's for the B scale. Because these magnets get in the way. Why are these magnets here, and why is that slot there? That's for the next function. And we're going to go to a different view and take a look at those. I've got my tailstock camera set up to the bandsaw as well as the wide camera, and we'll take a look and we'll play with drift on our bandsaw blade. So if I take this magnet, I'm going to figure out which I'm on that camera. So we take this thing, bandsaw companion, and we use these magnets. And this slot here is made for the set of the teeth so they don't interfere with the drift. And we put that right there on the blade. Then we can see that we've got, and let me turn this other light on. Where's the button? There it is. We can see we've got this thing kind of set up, and I'll switch back and forth to this view. We've got it set up, magnetized to the blade. It's just kind of balancing there. and the set of the teeth are not interfering with the straightness of the bar. And so what we can do now is, if I look at this view, we're going to judge the gap of our miter gauge up here. It's very shallow, all the way down the blade to see how well it's running to the miter saw blade. That's my phone. And it looks fairly even. So if I change my bandsaw blade to where it drifts, and bear with me as I get behind my bandsaw here, and I'm going to spin the wheel by hand. The bandsaw is unplugged, by the way, just so you know, so there's no power to this guy. I've got so I've just moved the wheel, turned the wheel where the bandsaw blade is moving, so this goes down to the bottom. And I'm just changing the drift on my blade so you can kind of see how well this thing kind of measures. So that should be pitched one way or the other. So now, oops, a little too far up. We'll let that settle. And we will see it's a bit of a gap there, and it's tightened up to where it's almost touching there, the back. So we've changed our drift on our blade quite a bit. So that's one thing to look at with this thing. So we can change that back, and hopefully I go the right way and don't take my blade off. Loosen that again. This is a Minimax 16-inch bandsaw. It's an Italian-made Centauro, so I'm going the wrong way with my 3 horsepower. Thereabouts. There, it's getting back in the wheel. And we go kind of crazy the other way. All of these bandsaw blades have sort of a crown to it. And as the bandsaw blade gets to the front or the back of the blade, then that crowning changes the pitch of the blade over that crown and changes your drift angle. So now if we take a look at this one, where we've gone radically the wrong way, we've got a gap at the back. And is that better here or there? No, here, I guess. We've got a gap at the back, but up front, now it's hitting. So it's hitting there. So we've changed the drift completely the other way. So we need to go halfway in between that. So let's change that again. Oops, my light. And I think we're almost there. All right, let's try that. And pick that up again. Still got that drift. I need to go a bit more, so there's that light again. Keep knocking that down. Let's try that. We've got about 3/8 of an inch back there, about 1/8 of an inch there, a bit more yet. Let's try that. Okay, 1/4 inch and nice and parallel all the way down. So that's set nicely to the miter slot. So now what we need to do is check the fence and see where that's at. So I'm going to close that up and lock my drift knob, and we'll move on this side, and we will move our fence up, and I don't have. If I had some nice sort of setup blocks or some nice shims, they're nice and even, I would use those against there and see how close and feeler gauge them. But basically, if it's if it's out of whack on my bandsaw, I loosen this one nut, and I can change the drift. So if we look at that, and so I hit that too quick. It's touching at the end and gapped out here, so I need to change that back the other way, where I need to kind of just nudge that end out a little bit. This is bouncing a little bit too much still. Maybe just another tap. And I'm just sighting it by eye. That looks nice to me. So I hadn't really done this before, getting this device very much. I do need to replace my blades at some point, but now I've got a fence that's parallel to the blade, that's parallel to the miter gauge. So that is really a great setup, and I think that's simple to use that way. So that's the bandsaw companion. It kind of sticks down there by a magnet. So, and there you go. That went a lot quicker and a lot better than I thought it would. So that's kind of cool. So that is this little guy. So kind of a simple little thing that kind of just does its job and does it relatively well. Just have to figure out how this goes back on. So it goes in the package. But I think this one is mine now. So I've marked it up and abused it. So let me just get to the comments here, see what kind of questions we got. Be happy to answer those. Put myself on there. All right, so we've got just going up, back up. Just trying to see where we're at. Okay, got to figure out where I'm at now. So all good here. Mike says, okay, that's YouTube. Robot. Good. David says, better late than never. Yeah, good to have you here, David. Thanks for joining. And Jim says, StreamYard is working well for me. That's good. I'm glad to hear it. Transit, I saw your hand waving around. That's good. It does. See, it's gone black on me now again. So I think I have to. You have to continuously watch it. If you go away from the tab and come back, it doesn't seem to like that. So, interesting. Some more feedback for them on that one. So, let's see. Okay, here, yeah, if you keep watching it on there one platform, then it works. I think you're going back and forth. It maybe doesn't. Glenn saying happy Friday to Todd and Shelley. Thank you very much. So Pete has a comment. The crown of the tire controls the blade direction. Yeah, absolutely. So as your tire on your top of your bandsaw goes this way, it forces the blade to go this way on the sides. So that controls. So finding that right place where you get the blade nice and straight is what we're looking at. So good point. Dr. Bob, about 15 years ago, I beta tested a tool like that for a well-known company. All testers loved it. Problem was the cost manufacturer, blah, blah, blah. All right. So, yeah, this is $27 is the retail price on this one. So, not too bad, I think, for everything that it's doing. What What is the blade size on the bandsaw? Yeah, that's a good question. I think it looks like 3/8. That's typically what I get, a 3/8 inch 6-tooth blade for cutting wood. Yeah, 3/8. Um, I think it's one of the. I want to say it's one of the Timberwolf blades. I'm not sure. Hi. So let's. It's a good question. Pete says, "Very cool. You have some of the best goodies in in our shop." Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. So these were two we're kind of I just hadn't talked about before. I just brought them in months ago and finally got around. What's the bandsaw tool made of? It's aluminum. It's anodized blue, so it's nice and thick. It's I don't know. Let's measure. It's maybe a little too thin to get the roll bar on there to measure, so I'm going to use a ruler. Let's go millimeters. So we're 6 millimeters, so quarter of an inch thick in terms of thickness. It's stout. It's nice and stout. The other holes here are precision, so they're well milled. The little screws work well. Yeah, don't have any complaints about how it's built. So yeah, good stuff. Good question. Let's see. I love mine and still use it. Bob says, good stuff. Get a couple of earth magnets on flat aluminum stock, and you have your own. Yeah, absolutely. $3 plus your aluminum stock plus your time. So absolutely, it's the way to go. Tony, going to have to get one of those. Very cool tool. Yeah, thank you, Tony. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining. Let's see. Will the bandsaw companion handle any blade size width? Yeah. So the only limitation that I see in terms of the width is how big the teeth are. So if I take this off again, so we've got plenty of width here on the magnets to take any blade. So up to an inch. I think the teeth length. I don't think there's any teeth there that's really longer than that gap to fit the set inside, unless the teeth are set like extreme. Then there may be a problem. But I think you'd be fine with most any wood turning blade you're going to use. A big carbide resaw blade, I don't know. We'd have to see how wide those teeth are. So, but good question. Let's see. Mike, looks handy. I have to pick one up. Okay. We've got about 6 or 7 in stock. I'm not quite sure. So almost $40 for me. Yeah, Canadian dollar sales. Yeah, work that out, Mike. So sorry about that. But I think they've got iGauge has got to have distributors in Canada. Check that out. See. So let's see. Where is it made? It's probably made in China. To be honest with you, Bob, I'm not quite sure. Most of the eye gauging stuff is made in China. Oh, here we go. There we go. We got the goods here. Oh, I gotta focus 1 second. Get my mouse over there. All right. So you can see, designed in the United States, responsibly made in China. Eye gauging's out of San Clemente, California. William over there, nice guy, working with him. So, yeah, good. It's a Chinese family in California that's importing this stuff mostly. But this one is designed in the U.S., so good stuff. Good question. Let's see. Hi says, okay, the 3/8 is a nice general purpose blade for cutting bowl blanks. I don't really care about drift, but I can see how it would help me set up 5/8 resaw blade. Yeah, that, and I do also use the bandsaw for making plywood jigs and stuff like that, or cutting. My table saw is kind of always covered with crap. So, to be honest with you, and so the bandsaw is handy for me to kind of cut wood if I'm just cutting shelving or something like that. So I try and get a nice even cut on the bandsaw. But yeah, if you got other ways of doing stuff, yeah, do that. Will it work on a 1/2 inch blade? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure it would. There you go. That's right. Table saws a bench, not a table saw. Exactly. Okay, excellent. Okay, so let's move on and take a look at what we're going to look at next, and that is a little bit of movie magic, if you will. Did I get that in there? Oh, I didn't. Look at that. This Shelley, take note. This is probably not going to go back on the shelf. Yeah, another inventory item lost at my shop. So just the way it goes. All right, so we are looking at how to do some, and I'm gonna just bear with me as I change up the scenery. Here comes the gray screen up, and the green. And before I do the green screen, I have to roll this bandsaw back in behind the green screen. So there we go. Turn off that light. Don't lose my phone back there. All right. This, by the way, folks, is what is behind the green screen. So the green screen's up here. It's coming down in a second. My big toolbox and back of the shop back there. So down it comes. Away we go. So now we are green screened in front of the tabletop. And if we take a look at that, we're going to set this guy up. So we're going to set up the Lyle Jameson hollowing system. And when I get that set up, we will come back and do a raffle on this guy. So give me just a couple of seconds, and we'll get this going. So the big rest that goes on the end of the band of the lathe. I got to move my tailstock down out of the way. All right, I can move this camera now. Can I turn it this way? There we go. And bring this one around and wide. I think I lost focus on that one, but that's all right. All right, so we are setting up the D-rest on the lathe, on the captured rest, whatever it's called, and the big tool rest on the banjo. Oh, too many cables. All right, so what are we going to turn? We have this little hollowform that I did a few months back, probably 5 months ago. Little ash hollowform. It's got some worm damage here and down in the inside there. You can see that nastiness. So we're going to stick that on the lathe with a Vicmark chuck. And we're going to see how to set this up to hollow with the camera. So I do have marks on this guy. I've got little marks here and here and a 1 for the jaw number 1. So let's just try and do that just to appease the gods. Where is number 1? There it is. Good Lord. Okay, there we go. Okay, and I can kind of feel it sucking into that area, so that's good. And that's good. And here is the big rest. Put my safety pin in. All right, so we've got on here, and it's kind of hard with me in the way. We've got this cutter on here. I've got to move this back a little bit. Let me just take that off for a second. And yeah, so that'll work. I've got to set this up to the correct height, and for that I do have this little stick that I made, and basically banjo between the tool rest, and then this one also is the right height, but this works as if I there we go, get that out of the way. I just stick that part between the tool post and the banjo, and that gets me the right height. So now it should be pretty damn close to center. So that's the first thing to get done, is that. I've got a little magnet on there for something. Up here on the top, I've got this little cage here, and let's see if I can focus on that. There we go. So this is a little sports camera cage for this little camera. That's a little $49 sports camera. So it's not the greatest. It's what I used 2 years ago for IRDs and stuff, and works okay. It does have an overlay that, and I can turn myself on again in the corner. It does have an overlay on it that does show not a clean HDMI, but I'm still looking for the perfect sort of camera. So that snaps into this little holder, and then I've got a cable for it. This end of the cable plugging into its HDMI port, and I think, is that upside down? Boy, my eyesight is just going today. It's just not where I want it. And there we go. Then the other end, oh, it has to go into that thing. So I have this other camera that I'm disconnecting and plugging in the cable to the other end of this HDMI extender. So now we are cabled into camera 7. Here's a little sound of the little camera starting up. So if we go look at camera 7, not the one, that is the one. So there's the picture from the camera overhead. Let me get that out. That's a little confusing. So you can see this the stuff going around the stuff going around up here. That is the camera information. Same down here. If I just take off that. So this camera doesn't do a clean HDMI feed, which is unfortunate. But I'll eventually find one that does. But so what we need to do now is to take a picture of this guy with a green screen under it. And a green screen is simply just a green mat, just like what's behind me. So that color green, I got this green board. I just put some green tape on it, and that's what we're going to stick underneath this guy. So now we've got sort of and I need to, there's one trick on this camera. I've got 2 little buttons on the side that will, is it that way or that way? There we go. Zoom me in a little bit. So that just zooms it in so I can fill the screen mostly with green. Now I need to figure out, do I want to outline the cutter? And I haven't figured that out completely yet. I've got this little piece of wire that I've been working with to try and figure out if I can make that work, where that might sit on there and create a black outline. I don't think that's really going to work today, but I'm just going to take a picture just to show, well, it might work. Look at that. And I need that that light would help to get a good photo. Sometimes a good light helps as well. So I've got well, that's pretty bright. There we go. That came off. So that is a problem. So I'll have to figure out. And Cindy had a good solution with the magnet and the little piece of what do you call it? Plastic, clear plastic. So that might be the solution. I'm looking at other things as well, trying to figure it out. But I've got a button on here that's going to grab a still, and if I just need to remove this one, and let's do that again. Let's put it there. I've got in my well, let's see if I can show it. Yeah, I have to swap things around. I have to do that anyway. So if I drag this over, make that big, and go to PC and show that. So this is the media pool of my ATEM, and you can see if I kind of can see up there, I've made. I'll get rid of the one that I don't need. This one. This one over here is the one that I did make. You can see. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Oh, it's really flickering a lot, isn't it? That's not good. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, so this is the one I need to stick in the media pool. So I'll drag that over. Oops, I can't get it there with that finger over there. And then we need to go, and I've got a button that's going to make it an overlay. So you can see it now show up on the screen as an overlay. So that means that we've got that overlay set to go, and let me take that off, put that back onto Cam 7, and now we got it inside our hollowform. So that basically what I did is, and I'll go through the steps. Let me just look at comments for a second. If you can let me know whether that was flickering for you when I had that up, that would help, because I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the recording afterwards to see how that went. So well, Bonnie's here, thank you. There's a couple of other questions up here I'm just going to get to. William won't answer your emails. No, you got to call him, Michael. Let's see. Jim says, yeah, Banggood probably has $5.95 for all the stuff out there in China. Yeah. Banggood would probably work. Not sure what the shipping delays are. Let's see. Can we buy it through you so you can make some dollars? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that would be very helpful. Thank you, Bob. Here's a good question. Hi says, why don't you offer a slightly used bandsaw companion as another drawing item? Yeah, so one of the things I kind of, my wife and I kind of promised ourselves is we wouldn't get into the used tool business. So that's just policy, I guess, that we've kind of stuck with. We want you guys to get all new tools. We don't want anything to hamper your experience. So so that's why the one I'm giving away is not a used tool. It's still in the package. Shelley said, got it marked for inventory. Thank you. Bonnie's here. Thank you for joining, Bonnie. Appreciate it. And let's see. Oh yeah, John is always a jokester. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. In bread making, you can make a challah form. Yeah, so challah bread. We had some of that at Christmas. It was really good. So let's see, Dr. Bob. I have 2 deep hollowing systems. I got Lyle's system years ago, just after he started selling them. I think that's the best system for high torque. Yeah, it definitely makes it easy. It was a bad joke, high, definitely, but it was funny. Yeah, okay, more jokes. Yes, it was flickering. Thank you. Yes, it was flickering. Okay. I'll have to figure out what the connection problem is on that that input. So something's going on with that. Let me just stick something else there for now. All right, sorry about that. I will try not to do that. Thank you all. So now what we've got is a cutter that has this image on it, right? So you can see my finger is underneath it, but I'm actually, if you look at this image overhead, my finger is on top of it. So I've got this kind of in the way, but you can kind of see where my finger is down below. And maybe I might take the focus down. Oops, not there. Take the focus down there. So down here where my finger is, I'm on top of it, but when you look at the camera feed, looks like the bar's over the top of it. So now that's how we get inside. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do the drawing now, and then I'm going to show a few of the tech geeks exactly how to go about doing that in the ATEM. And then I may finish up just hollowing a little bit, but we're kind of at the time to make the drawing. So again, Rollbot in the what do you call it? In the chat comments. That's what I was trying to say. There we go. How many do we have? We have 66. So everybody ready? Enter Rollbot. And we'll do a drawing now. I don't see it going up, so we're at 60. Okay, 67. Somebody else has got any last stuff. Enter Rollbot, pound Rollbot in the chat. Enter only once. You only need to enter once. It'll only take one entry from each person. So here we go. I hit the drawing button, and the winner is Bill Hawkmuth. Great job, Bill. So I think I may have your information, but you're going to have to send me an email with the shipping information, and that would be the way I can get it to you. So I should have had myself in the window there to talk to you this way. So I got this contraption in front of me. So give me an email, drop me an email. We'll get that sent out to you. And yeah, Rollbot winner right there. Good stuff. So enjoy. Let us know if you have any questions. And Shelly's got that name written down, I'm sure. So, but we may have it in our system. We'll take a look. But congratulations, well done. All right, so let me get out of that mode. We'll leave that going. Okay, I'm doubled up here. Look at that. Why? Oh, because I'm on this. There we go. All right. So how did I do that? Can I show that another way? I might screen share. Maybe screen sharing in here might stop screen. Yeah. Okay. Stop that one. Let's present screen share. And maybe we can show, okay, yeah, let's show this page. I'll move this over here. And I'll close that down. I don't need that anymore. I'm not going to use that. So close that down. And we'll show, yeah, we'll show that. I'm going to make that smaller. Oops, wrong way. Oh, why didn't that work? Sorry, folks. Trying to mouse with one hand and shrink things. There we go. All right. So let me share Chrome tab window. ATEM. Can I show a Chrome? Let's just show the entire screen. Yeah, that one. Share. All right. So if we look at, let's add that to the stream. There we go. There we go. And I will get myself here. All right. So we've got the ATEM software control here. And then I'm controlling everything on my um, ATEM through a companion, through a Stream Deck. And but we don't really need to worry about that too much. So in order to capture this still, it's built in. There's a little button down here, capture still. So if I do another capture still, it'll drop it into number 11 there. You saw it happen. So that was just capturing whatever is on the screen in the feed that's happening, and that happened to be the headshot. So that's how I captured this. I made sure that this was the active screen, and then I put it in the media pool. From there, we go over to the switcher area. We look at the palettes here, and I believe, and let me see if I've got this 3. I don't think I need 3 is me in the corner, so I should have gotten rid of that. So I got rid of my little self in the corner. So these are the this, by the way, is the ATEM Mini Extreme. It's the one with the 8 inputs. So it has 4 upstream keyers. And an upstream keyer can do things like picture-in-picture, like that. If you see that in the little inset, it can do patterns. You can do a split screen. You can do chroma keying, which I'm doing with the green screen. I can't chroma key in this little window right now, but you can see me go over top of stuff and stuff with the green screen. But what we have on so that myself chroma keyed is on 3. That's me in the corner down there, kind of cropped off. The picture-in-picture I think was number 1. So I'm turning those on and off with the Stream Deck. So number 2 is the oh, you can see the overlay there, right? That's popped up in the middle of my face right there. So so number 2 is the one we're going to use. So if we look at upstream key number 2, what we've got chosen as the input is media player 2, right? So media player 2 is where we stuck that image. That's right in here. So this is media player 2. And that means that we're going to go and sample that, get that green, sample that green color that's in that image, and we're going to key it out. So that's really what's going to happen. So it's going to key out the green, and I've also just set some parameters to make the chroma key work well, key adjustments and some correction. And I've also masked it. So I've masked it. If I turn off the mask, let me turn it on for a second. Not that one, this one. So you can see, let me see if I can move this out of the way for a second, just to kind of get a little bit of, well, that stay. That won't stay. Let me add a bit of weight back there. All right. Not really ingenious at sticking up here, so let me rotate that away. It's almost out of the way. So this picture that's in front of my face, right, is the image that's in the media pool, but I've cropped it. If I turn the cropping off, or the mask, sorry, off, borders around it, we've got the sides that you can see my hand disappear on this side. So that's the edge of the image not being fully used. So we've just cropped it in here just so we can see what we need to see. That's what the mask does. So turn that back on, all that goes away, and we're left with just that cutter showing up in my face. So that's kind of how that works. This might be maybe just to show that a bit better. So there's that image that's cropped top and bottom and left and right. And I'll turn that mask off again. You'll see everything that happens there. You get the top border, the bottom border, and some of the side to sides already cropped in this image. So that's kind of the way to get the image overlay working. And I can turn that scrolling thing off. Should have done that earlier. Turn that off. And let me go to comments. Okay, so yay. Okay, so I'm just catching up on comments. Sorry. Heli Aviator, I'm new to hollowing and thought I really wanted the video. Now that I've used the laser and found it so simple, I'm questioning whether the video is worth the hassle. Yeah, that's a good, valid question. Absolutely. Oops. I have to click that off. It's definitely a valid question. Is it worthwhile? I do it. I haven't done it before. I've done most of my stuff with the laser light up to this point, but I wanted to show. I got that. Let me turn that that off. That overlay. There we go. So it's not in my face. But that's something I've thought about doing for a while. I've had this set up for a while. I had this little camera for years, and I thought, well, let's just try it and do it and see how it works on my system using an ATEM Mini. And Cindy's done it with her VMix system, and I want to get to a point where I can do it one button, takes the picture, puts in the media pool, sets the chroma key, sets the mask, and all that stuff. And I'm pretty close to there. I'm at 2 buttons right now. One to take the picture and one to set the chroma key, mask, and all that stuff and set it up. And I do that through the ATEM Mini software using the macro function. If I click up here, click on macros, and I should have made this. Well, I'll leave it there. Macros. There's a macro here to grab the still, very simple. And here's one to set up the upstream key to for hollowing. So, and those 2 macros basically I programmed onto a button on my Stream Deck, and gets me 2 things. The one thing I've submitted to the folks that make the software, this companion software back here. This is how I'm making everything happen. Here's the button for grabbing the still. It just runs that grab still macro, runs it, and puts it in the first slot, empty slot in the media player, media pool. I'd like to designate which slot it goes into so that I can delete it from that slot automatically as well and take a new one. So that would be, that's what I've asked them to see if they can do. The other one is the key. So this one runs upstream key macro, and then it's a latch, it's a toggle on, toggle off type of switch. So I turn it off and set the media player back to the still that I want it to. So, so yeah, 2 buttons. I've got it working, and what it requires me to do is overhead. That it wasn't the right thing, and this would be the right thing. There we go. Requires me to grab the green mat thing. Every time you're, instead of changing the laser light, where's that picture at? I guess it's here. Yeah. So instead of changing this, undoing this knob and moving the laser light to the right place and stuff like that, I set this up on this green board and take another snapshot out of this camera. And then that's one button for me there to take the picture, and another button to set up in the overhead. So then I go back to this camera, take this away, and I'm back to hollowing. So it's relatively quick. It's not quite as quick maybe as setting the laser up right now, but I'm hoping that with some of the things I'm asking the software developers to do and what I can do to make it a little bit quicker. So yeah, so that's it. So let's take a little look at how this hollows. Let me set up the camera here to get a better picture of how that's working. And since I got it, let's use Cindy's little light and tailstock. That's the view there. Maybe we can see. Well, let's do that in picture. And yeah, see that how that goes. So that picture in picture is a little bit in the way. That's unfortunate. Can I make that smaller? Yes, I can. Let's just do that for, and that's number one. So let me go. Well, let's just let's just hit the button. Uh-oh. So it's really small now. Up in the corner. That's too small. Let's change that back and see. Size. And oops, wrong way. There. That's a bit out of the way. So let's turn the speed down on the lathe. And we'll show a little bit of the hollowing. So don't need to go too fast. Let me get my safety glasses on. Tighten that down. And see how things are looking. So I've got the little Hunter carbide cutter on here. So now I can look and see that black wire is now right on the outside of my turning there. So that is my gauge. I don't know how far that is away. That's something I have to figure out. But my wall thickness is now about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little less than 1/4 inch, 3/16 on this wall thickness right here. So that's kind of how it works. And as you get down to the bottom, you can see we're going to hit the bottom down there, and we can get onto the bottom. Can we get onto the bottom? I am just actually a little bit low on my tool rest. There we go. And I can move this a little bit closer. And there we go, a little bit of hollowing done. So that is how you would do it with a camera and something like that. So it allows me to just kind of, the nice thing that I kind of like is that if I have this ring all the way around, then I can get on the bottom and the sidewall typically without worrying about, laser. Although this is a fairly straight walled vessel, so it's not very much change. But yeah, so that's the key there. So you got markings all the way. Oops, where is it at? I'm trying to markings all the way around the cutter sort of thing. So that's kind of nice. And like I said, I got to figure out a better way than the silly little wire, but that's kind of where we're at. So yeah, hopefully that helped. I am way over time, so I think at this point I will say adios, and let me turn that off and that off, and have this thing kind of sit in my way. But I'll look at the comments one last time here. Let's see. Yeah, John, nice. Yeah, if I had that, have this in my face, yeah, that's if I'm here, and oh, that turned that one off. So I've lost it now. I've lost control. Oh well. But yeah, it's got to figure out where it's turned on and off. So let's see. I'm not sure what that is about. David says, I agree with a heli aviator. I find the laser works just fine. I have no need to complicate the process with technology, resetting laser. Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree, David. I think that they both have their place. It's kind of nice to experiment and see how the technology evolves wood turning, and how these things maybe will get better and better. If you have a spare GoPro and a computer, you're set. So not a problem. Not everybody has that out in the shop though. So a nice new way to pick your nose. Thanks, John. Too funny. Let's see. Not having to reset the laser is the only real advantage I see. Yeah. At this point, yeah, I think you could be right there. The process, perfect hands-free class. I don't know what that is about either. Thanks for demonstrating. You bet, John. Appreciate it. And Cindy, I think the wire is a great idea, maybe with a magnet. Yeah. Unfortunately, the wire I grabbed, I had a twist ties, those little black twist ties. It's what I started with, and those are steel. But the wire I grabbed was a piece of copper, and it's not magnetic. So I've lost the little twist tie wherever it went. But I'll have to find something like that. I think the wire might be, if I can get it formed right, and stuff like that, with a magnet, I think would work. So that's what I was trying to work on. The clear plastic with the magnet works because you can kind of erase the line and stuff. But I know there are struggles with glare from the light and stuff. So that's what I was trying to avoid. Lowell, very interesting. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Dave, thank you. Appreciate it. Tony, lit a lot of great info and products. Thanks, Todd. You're welcome. Thank you to you guys. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, appreciate it, Tony. Spelling on texting your comments is not my strong suit either. Michael, thank you. You guys everybody have a great weekend. Fun and informative. Yeah, that's what I like, is having this be fun and show you a few things at the. Oh, okay. Think about the advantage, disadvantage of laser versus video. Yeah. And here's the heli aviator. So you don't. I'm just trying to think through this. So you can get, I think, with a basic vMix, you can do this in OBS. So OBS is free. If you have a small, sports camera like this one, and I'll just pull this out and show it again, what it's looking like. And here's a well, that's going to be very confusing. So here's a picture with the sports camera, right? So there you guys are in that camera. There's monitors, keyboards, and ATEM Minis and Mac Minis and Mesa cables, a huge ass, lantern light. So I get exposed. There's a camera and a camera. And so, yeah, this is not, and let's not forget that camera. up there on the ceiling. So not what I've got set up is not for the faint of heart. So not something you want to go all out on. But what you can do, and what you can start with, is if you've ever used OBS, it's relatively there's a lot of support out there, a lot of YouTube videos on how to use it. It's basically a video. OBS stands for Open Broadcast System. So basically, it's bring in a web page, a microphone, a camera, any sort of input into your computer, and then it will take that and you can set up scenes, and you can set up this exact overlay where you got the camera, take a still of the thing like I did, the cutter, chroma key that. OBS has a chroma key feature, and overlay it on top of your video. And then so you get a laptop out there or a Mac Mini with a monitor and OBS running in it. That's all you need with a camera and HDMI. So relatively simple. I do it with the ATEM. Cindy does it with vMix. A lot of people have set up with the vMix, but yeah, you can certainly do it with OBS. Let's see. So software cost can be free. Let's see. Camera can get misaligned also. Yes, yeah, it can, absolutely. But well, let's just see. Let's go back to that and take me off of there and put that back on. And if I've got this camera here overhead, if I misalign it, then yeah. So now my cutter is not in line with my bar, right? So bring the bar out. So there's that. So aligning this back up exactly. It's pretty darn close. But yeah, you basically turn that off. Not that one. Once this is mounted, and this isn't a very good mount, it's kind of flexible, but it's temporary until I find something permanent to proof of concept sort of thing. You don't want to be moving this around, right? So like that and like that. So that's a problem for sure. So you want something rigidly mounted to the post and make that so it doesn't move. So let's see. Yeah, copper wires don't like magnets. Yeah. All right, so I think I've caught up. Let's see. Yeah. So John makes a good point. Need to set up CNC controls so you can operate it from the living room and no need to be in the cold, hot shop. So it's funny you say that because I did all of this prep sitting in my office, remoting into this computer. I set up the macros out in my office. I set up all the button pushes in the office. All I had to do come out here is take the picture and start hollowing. So all of the remote work was done in the office. Absolutely. So the hard work, the hollowing has to happen out here because I don't have a robot yet. Boston Dynamics. Maybe they'll eventually make that guy be able to operate the lathes. So anyway, I'm going on and on. So let me say and bid you all a good Friday, happy weekend, and thanks for tuning in. Hope you all had fun. I sure did. And we'll catch you in a couple of weeks at the Woodturners Worldwide Online Symposium and the day before. So it's going to be a busy week for me, 2 weeks from now. Thursday, we're doing the 4 hours vendor showcase thing. So let's see if I can get, where is that? That is this way. Bear with me. There it is. And I will get down there. What is that cable? Oh, that is that cable. It's in the shot. And if I can find, oh yeah, I have it over here. There we go. So the 23rd, Thursday 23rd, we'll be doing vendor showcase for 4 hours. And then Friday, I've got a live stream at this time, 2:30 in 2 weeks. And then that evening, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific, I will be back in here on Woodturners Worldwide, showing a little bit about the hook tool and a little bit about the Proform tool and differences, comparisons, use, operation, all that kind of stuff. So join me there and use the promo code that I talked about, WTS. Buy a ticket at the symposium. Use the coupon code WTS. $10 off the ticket price. Plus, you'll end up with a $10 gift card from us here at Woodturning Tool Store. Sometime that weekend, it'll arrive in your inbox. So that's it for me. Thanks again, everyone. Tune in and stay in touch. And y'all have a great weekend. Bye for now. And end broadcast.